Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Bloom, Group Publisher of Roofing Contractor, and welcome to our Best of Success podcast show. We are here at the FRSA trade show in Orlando, Florida, and it's such an honor to have with me Trent Cotney.
Hey Jill, it's good to see you.
Partner at Adams and Reese.
Yep.
I mean, it's been how many years we've been coming to this show now? Maybe we should say,
So,
but
this is my 23rd expo.
and it is your birthday yesterday, a couple
Yep.
days ago.
Yep.
So
yep,
happy
it is.
50th to Trent,
Yeah.
big birthday.
I made it.
You made it.
I'm still here.
You made it to the decade.
Yeah.
This is great. Well, there's always lots to talk about, Trent, and I'm always so grateful for your time
Yeah.
to share, to help contractors learn. But what's making your phone ring right now? What are people asking you?
So I've had the pleasure, obviously, huge turnout here at FRSA.
It's amazing.
I think it's going to be a record. I've never seen this many people here. I've had the pleasure to speak a bunch of different times. One of the biggest topics that I've been getting questions about is salespeople, independent sales reps. Now, you can have a W-2 independent sales rep or you can have a 1099, and there's a lot of different issues that are related to that. But the key thing is like, for example, if you have a W-2, you need to make sure that you have got the commissions spelled out and how they're going to get paid and what happens once they're terminated, their entitlement to commissions.
Yep.
So what I want everybody to understand is make sure that if you have independent salespeople, and by independent, Jill, I mean they're not telemarketers sitting in a desk, they're knocking on doors. They're
Right, okay.
outside of the
Outside
company,
sales reps,
right?
okay?
Now, the other thing that you need to understand is under the Department of Labor wage and hour laws, there's a lot of exemptions if you are a true independent salesperson.
Okay.
You don't need to you don't need to pay them overtime, you don't need to pay them minimum wage, and you don't need to do record keeping, right? And what that means is that there's a lot more flexibility in having a 1099 independent salesperson. We talked about misclassification
We did,
before.
yes. Oh, yeah.
Still an issue,
Okay.
but a lot less risk from the Department of Labor standpoint because
For a
nothing they
salesperson.
care about is there. Now, IRS may still care about it,
Okay.
but that's one of the issues that we've seen coming up. So to kind of summarize,
Yeah.
make sure you've got good agreements regardless of whether it's with an internal employee and get their commission agreement together or it's an external independent, 1099 salesperson. Make sure that you've got everything ironed out because we got a lot of litigation involving people after the fact saying that they weren't paid what they were supposed to be paid. And that all comes back to the agreement. So
Okay. And so I guess when you talk about that litigation that took place, did it happen about how long they were paid? I'm sure there's all kinds of, everyone's a little differently, but like, okay, I'm terminated in March, but I sold all this stuff through the end of the year.
correct. It's
So-
it's entitlement to payment. So they get terminated,
Okay.
and then what will happen is you'll get a claim from a lawyer that says, hey, my client believes that he's owed X because all of this stuff was still in the pipeline and the agreement isn't specific enough.
Or the contract was in and it was
Right.
sold for the whole
And
year.
we
Whatever.
probably have at least a dozen of those cases right now.
Okay,
Right.
wow.
So this is a common occurrence. Great questions today in the classes.
Yes.
Serge, it was amazing. We're going to do it again tomorrow. So, hopefully I'll have more ammo for you next time we talk.
I know, right? Are there any questions that really stood out from this morning?
Yeah, there was just a lot of, issues with Florida insurance. It's a constant struggle here in Florida. And for those of you that are out there that may be watching this outside of Florida, Florida's the battleground. So whatever's happened here for insurance, you can expect it's going to go everywhere.
All right.
So a lot of big recent changes for the law that they've changed, a lot of contractual requirements that they've got now, and they're really clamping down on the roofing industry in particular.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And anything on the drywall side, anything on the wall and ceiling side that you see that's
Yeah.
really important to talk about?
We really got into design liability, and especially if you're doing exterior finishing or any kind of drywall or other stuff like that, be very careful about getting into a design-related component. So if you start, let's say you're putting drywall on a wall panel or something like that on an interior side of the building, if you start engaging in going off of what's in the plans and specs, get that approval in advance in writing and make sure you disclaim design liability in your contract.
Okay.
Say that, look, I'm not responsible for design. I don't care what the contract documents say, because if you don't do that and you get sued, you may not have the proper insurance coverage to cover you because you're not an architect or an engineer, right?
Okay.
So seeing this happen a lot, especially with the walls and ceilings group, definitely something to keep your eye on.
Love it. Well, Trent, as always, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Pleasure.
If anybody has any questions for you, how do they get a hold of you?
Sure. Trent.Cotney@arlaw.com or hit me up on social at Trent Cotney.
Perfect. And if anybody has any questions for us, it's roofingcontractor.com or wconline.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for all our free content, especially follow us on all our social media channels so you know where all the great trade shows are. But most importantly, stay safe and healthy, and we can't wait to talk to you soon. Thanks again, Trent.
Thank you.